This is my wireless Sony A7C II setup. Yes, we hate wires. So after testing a bunch of rigs, this is the one I enjoy the most at this current point in time. This is the lean wireless build I keep coming back to. So there's definitely pros and there's definitely cons to this setup, and we're going to talk about it in this video. So just to keep it pretty brief. So the setup in itself, there's a Ulanzi half cage here, and then I use the F38 base plate that comes with a lot of the Ulanzi F38 systems. So I use that in combination with the Ulanzi half cage. And then I have a F22 magnetic phone mount that I put on top of the cage. And then I have a bunch of F22 handles that I will be getting right now. So I have these where you can attach it onto the side or on top of the cage itself. So it goes like that. And then I can replace this with the top cage and go like, so do that. And then I can put this phone mount onto the back. Like that, and then have it like that. So it's very modular, which is the point of the setup. So if, let's say I want to start doing photos, I can remove it. But one thing I forgot to mention as well is that I have the DJI Mic on here with, this is important, the Sony Mi accessory that you have to buy extra on top of the DJI Mic too, but it makes it a world of a difference without having wires. Because what I find is that when you are shooting and you're moving quite a bit, there is a possibility that you kind of like kick the wire and it, audio doesn't get sent. The beauty about the DJI Mic 2 is that you can record audio externally on top of also sending it to the Mi, which will bake it into the video itself. So amazing accessory to have. And then also a very modular setup to also bring as a rig. So the problems this wireless setup solves is that cables everywhere are annoying, and just one snag, it's all done. You can mess up a lot of equipment just with one wire, and then you pull it. Also, bulky cages. I hate bulky cages that are just stuck to my gear. I like using my cameras as it is, sort of raw pause, but yeah, it makes it easier to remove as well. So there's also that setup anxiety. So if you lose shots while you're adjusting your gear and you're not fast enough, just losing the shots is probably one of the worst feelings that you can go through. Now, why go wireless? Again, it's about speed, simplicity, and when you're creating every day, what happens is that friction tends to pop up. So when you have friction, you kind of give yourself excuses like, oh, I don't want to film because I don't want to take photos because my cage is already locked in and it's such a bulky cage. I have to bring it to the back, blah, 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 blah. And then you don't end up shooting, which is with the point of doing all of this so that you can use your camera gear. You're buying camera gear to use them. So this setup creates a frictionless shooting experience. And then going into the pros of this wireless setup is that it's flexible, it's modular. So Ulanzi F38 systems go really well with each other. So this one fits into my tripod, so I can just slide it in. So this was my main setup that you probably seen a lot on this channel. And you can just mix and match, and then you can just adjust according to the needs you want, which will go into the cons as well about this setup. And then the main benefit of this setup as well is that there's no wires. Another thing to consider is that this gives you a clean look. So for me, a minimalist setup doesn't attract that attention that maybe these heavier and bulkier rigs tend to attract. I'm trying to be discreet. Maybe at one point or maybe in the future, I might want to actually flex and have a big bulky rig, maybe just to, give yourself more of that pro look, because that is a certain thing that is a reality for filmmakers, that having that, for example, you carry a FX6, you do attract attention, whether it's from the right kind of attention or the wrong kind of attention, but you do attract it. So maybe if you want to pull up as a professional, maybe that is one thing to consider. But this one for me is more so being discreet and not attracting attention. Now, going into the cons to keep in mind, there is a limitation with the Ulanzi half cage. what I find is that you can't use your bigger mics because it's gonna get in the way. So as you can see here in this area, if you have an actual mic, for example, the ECM M1 that I have, it's gonna hit this top portion of the Ulanzi half cage since it's not flush with the whole thing. Because you can, again, the benefit of this half cage is that I can use a different camera with the base plate and then mix and match with it. So in order to use, let's say, a mic, you have to put that up and yeah. And then you can use a, let's say, a shotgun mic or whatever kind of mic you have. Again, I don't have wires for that one. I use the Mi Shoe again for that Sony mic, Sony ECM M1. So there, I removed the DJI Mic 2. I'm putting in the ECM M1 and then lock it in. So now you run into the issue of this. Never mind, I'm wrong. I actually figured it out. It does work. I thought it wouldn't work. So I guess I just never tried it. Ah, okay. I get now where it wouldn't work. Now the setup wouldn't work if you had this accessory. Okay, I remember why it didn't work now before. Okay, let's say you have the phone mount on there and then you put this on, then it doesn't work the way it would. So yeah, so it's on the way. So you're sacrificing one thing for another, but then that's the best part about this setup again, is that it is modular. So if I wanted it to work, then I would not use that part and just use this. See? So yeah, those are the pros and cons. So I wasn't wrong in the beginning. It's just that you have to sacrifice that thing. So another con to this setup is that because you have joints on these systems, it's not as secure as if it were just one cage fitted for your A7C II or for any other camera. So this isn't full cage, so the joints aren't as stable as they can be. So they have give to them even if you tighten it up. So you can move them. So just be mindful of that. But to me, it seems pretty sturdy enough. Who is this setup for? I find that this setup is perfect for people who do lifestyle travel, who also do cinematic content that people shoot, so that if you want to prioritize having a lightweight and flexible setup, and then you have to transition back into, let's say, creator mode. So an example of that would be for today, I did like a batch shoot for a lot of YouTube talking head videos. I used the Sony A7C II for most of it, and I had it just in the cage itself. So again, that's the flexibility of this camera and then what it provides, and the versatility of it is amazing. The setup is amazing. So this is for people who want to prioritize having a frictionless experience and not loading up your camera because you want to use it. So I have a bunch more videos on the A7C II and the lenses I use on it, and I'll probably be in one of these. So if you guys click on it, I'll see you guys there when I see you.